Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Candace Owens, and you are listening to Dear America, the podcast by Graham Allen.
America, and welcome to the newest episode of the Dear America podcast.
Happy birthday,
And
Graham.
this episode is special. Happy birthday to you.
How you like that?
Wow, we just lost at least 1,000
didn't.
listeners right there. It
day
is
for
my
you.
birthday today.
Yay.
I am
Woo, woo.
33 years old.
Catching up with me.
This is my Jesus year. It's my Jesus
but
year.
everybody keeps saying don't say that because it actually wasn't.
Well,
great year.
as much as I'm thankful for Jesus, I hope that
everybody
my
keeps telling me.
33rd year turns out a little different. Anyway, as you heard earlier at the start of the show, Candace Owens is joining us. She found out it was my birthday, and she just had to be on the show.
Yeah.
No, I wish that was true. We actually got to link up with her at SAS a few weeks ago, and she's got some big news happening, and we are super excited for that. But before we do, let's get into a sponsor. TacPack is the world's premier monthly subscription box for military, tactical, and Second Amendment enthusiasts. For just $49.95 a month, they ship you at least $100 worth of gear from companies like 511, HexMeg, Mission First Tactical, ArmaSpec, and America Grip, just to name a few. They ship AR-15 parts to you direct to your door. Everyday carry tools, knives, cleaning kits, and a mix of other tactical gear and apparel direct to you.
Sweet.
Sign up today for the February pack, which is worth $200 and includes an American-made AR-15 part from Texas that will totally redefine your kit. Go to TacPack.com, and when you use the promo code GRAHAM, that's my name, at checkout, receive a free extra bag of tactical goodies shipped out with your first pack. So if you're into tactical gear from the best companies for half the price, TacPack is for you. Go to TacPack.com and get the February pack today. TacPack.com, TacPack.com, offer code Graham. All right, so it is my birthday.
Yay.
And we always have this conversation of, there's two types of people in this world. There's people who don't give a flip that it's their birthday. And then there's people that the entire month
That's me.
is like a celebration of the fact that they're breathing.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
the latter is definitely my wife. She is the person that thinks that you have a birthday week, and each day is progressively more in depth of a celebration.
But you know what? I grew up. That's how we were
that
raised,
you were
and
born.
I do that with the kids. I would do that with you. But you hate birthdays.
See, I grew up
Nazi
with
over
like my dad forgetting, and it's like the
Graham,
last day of
stop.
hunting season, and so he's not going to be able to.
Which is
he's
tragic.
not
Which is
gonna be
why
able
we
to do
should
that.
definitely celebrate you.
So, sorry, Dad, I'm throwing you under the bus here. I was getting ready to mobilize one time. You remember this, Alyssa?
I don't think you should. I don't think you should.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
I won't tell it.
Anyway.
There was a family member in my life.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just
Moving
kidding.
on.
I'm just kidding. And so, no, birthday's just. It's not like we just didn't care it was your birthday.
Yeah.
But once you get past the age of like 12, hey, it's time to go get a job
Don't
and
you
grow
feel like
up,
it has
man.
a lot to do with family though? Because people who are like me come from families who are just like birthdays all the time. More surprises, more surprises, more surprises.
Another excuse to get it with family.
Yeah, and then other people though who seem to have come from more broken homes are just like it's whatever.
Well,
really don't care.
hashtag Dear America. I'm curious. Do you think? Because I do. I'm all for making it a special day for the kids
And
up
me.
until
You do great.
up until about a certain age. But once you get like high school,
No.
like
16 maybe?
16 for a
No.
girl, and then when you turn
For
18,
a girl.
18,
Boys 12.
18, and well,
Boys 10.
well, because
over it.
like
You're fine.
girls have sweet 16. That's like a thing.
Boys have that
For-
too.
Boys don't have a sweet 16 party.
Okay. Yeah, they do. It's on MTV, right? Don't they have
Sleepover.
sweet-
Sleepover. No, baby. No, girls have
We
a
are celebrating our boys' sweet six or
No, we're not.
manly
We're not calling it a
16.
sweet 16. Can I,
Sorry, go ahead.
you got in trouble, by the way, to the audience. There was a lot of comments. you interrupted me a lot during that episode. And a lot of people commented on the fact, it was like, are you and Alyssa fighting? Because she interrupted you a lot on that episode.
Well, tell them to take it up with me.
And I think it's so funny because
because
a couple months ago, that one chick said that I need to let y'all finish. And y'all have just taken that and run with it.
I got a lot of comments about my cuss word, too.
Oh, did you?
Negative?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Funny.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back to the point. Hashtag Dear America. I just think there's a certain age where a birthday is just, I mean, newsflash, everybody's got a birthday. It's not that special of a thing.
It's not the whole world celebrating.
Your first birthday
your
is
family
special.
and your friends.
After that, it's just.
Don't you want a reason to get together? This extreme extrovert does.
I do think that if it's your birthday and you don't really care, but then nobody remembers or texts you.
No,
I think that kind of stinks.
Now, Alyssa asked me that. The only thing I really want is just for people to just acknowledge that it's my birthday. Just say, hey, happy birthday.
You're cool.
Just simple
happy
as that.
Birthday.
I probably would get upset if literally no one said anything.
It's the thought of being appreciated.
But
Just you.
I get legitimately uncomfortable if it was like a huge party. I just do, because I don't know exactly what to say.
Yeah.
I was always that kid at Christmas. I would be thankful for the gift, but I didn't know exactly what to say to you. And I always, it put a lot of pressure on me.
The older we've gotten, this has been interesting. I used to think, the more friends, quantity almost over quality, the more friends there, the better the party. And then as we've gotten older, it really has been more, we like it
Smaller
because you don't
groups.
like that awkwardness.
A lot
you
of
can't get around to everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of people at a
intimate.
birthday party is awkward because you have a whole set of people
and
that
you
you
have to
never even
get
get
to
to
'em.
speak to.
Yes.
Right.
Because, if you got 30 people there and you're sitting at a long table, well, you can only fit on one side. And then there's a whole other corner. That's it's just weird. I'd much rather just like we're doing tonight. I'd much rather just have dinner and that's it. Just super simple, super easy. Don't make
It's
a
hard
big
for
deal.
me.
Don't invite people.
Very hard for me.
Don't invite people. Just let's just go have dinner and just be done with it.
But it's
super
your day.
simple.
If you only knew.
Super simple stuff.
50 people
I
coming
know,
over
that's
tonight.
right.
If you
No,
only
I know
had any
better. I
idea.
did that
People
earlier in
are
marriage.
flying
Did not
in
go well.
and all this stuff.
No.
Whereas Alyssa, let's flip it now. Alyssa, we got limos pulling up. Well, we got all kinds.
Music needs to be playing constantly.
We've got
Yes.
streamers. We have a note in every room of the house that leads to a treasure hunt
Yeah.
My
that
gosh.
leads to what the clue is for the night's events and stuff.
That's more the children, but okay. But
This
yes,
morning,
I do
Gage
love birthdays.
Gage like cut up a bunch of paper
Just
and
showed
made
him.
it
I
confetti,
saw that.
and he just threw it at me the second I walked out of the door.
See, I
That's
love
pretty
that they are
sweet.
taking on the birthday excitement.
Celebratory.
Oh no,
Very-
kids are awesome
Traditions.
about
Yeah,
birthdays,
traditions.
and here's why: because kids know that if they make a big deal about the birthday, they get cake.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They
No,
want
have,
cake.
Our kids have good hearts. They
No,
want
I'm
you to
not
feel
saying
good.
they don't care that it's my
Just saying.
birthday.
I was just-
I'm saying that the only people that would get mad if we don't have a birthday cake are the kids. They're
I
gonna
would
be
be
like,
upset.
they're gonna be like, hold on, wait a minute. It's your birthday, but there's no cake. What is
we
going
actually,
on
our
here?
family
as well
even
not have
has.
been
Yeah, might as well not have been your birthday.
My Meemaw started a tradition. I think that her mom taught her. We even have a special song after the birthday song that we have to sing. You've probably heard it.
You want to talk about people looking like a bunch of homeschool kids showed up to a football game?
Be nice.
I'm telling you, and then they get
It's
off like the church
tradition.
van that was donated to them and
Stop
stuff.
It's
like
tradition.
people will sing "Happy Birthday" like normal, and then
That was
as
funny.
soon as "Happy Birthday to you," as soon as
Blow
that
out the
over,
candles on
they
the
start
cake and
this
make
chorus.
a wish. We serve everybody's favorite dish. Boom, 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 boom,
Talk
boom, boom,
about
boom.
feeling
Let it go.
awkward.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. This is your day, so have a happy day. Hey,
And it's not short. You hear that? And so people literally like look at each other and they're like, what is happening right
I
now?
don't do it for other people's birthdays, just for the
I'm
family.
like the middleman that has to be like, I don't know.
You know, we've been
know?
married
Sit there
10
tapping
years.
your
Yeah,
front.
it's just something they do. I don't
sing
know what to
along.
tell you. Anyway, all things put aside, it has been a very cool ride so far, 33 years.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the past 3 have been really insane. I'm excited to see what happens. I definitely am starting to feel older. We've talked about this a lot. I'll go work out and I just can't do what I used to do, or if I try, my shoulder hurts afterwards and stuff. And so I don't feel like decrepit by any means, but I definitely am starting to realize that I'm not in my 20s anymore. Kind of thing. Like we just said, I got a Fox News hit in the morning at 3:20 in the morning, and it's 10 o'clock right now, and I'm sitting here going, ugh. That's going to be difficult.
That's going to stink.
That's going to be difficult to get up for that. That's going to be the whole day. Pretty much. I'm going to be beat after that. Anyway, we have another sponsor we have to get into. But before we get into them, I want to give, again, I know we say this a lot. I want to talk about Virginia and what's going on in Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle is not over yet.
No, it's
Our
not.
good friends at Red Arrow Weapons, they are in Virginia. They make, obviously, death sticks, also known as rifles, your God-given right to bear arms.
Assault rifles.
Yeah, assault rifles, full semi-automatic. But it's very important. The lawmakers said that they pretty much did not care about the rally, that they're just going to continue to do what they want to do anyway.
And the sheriff said they did not care about the law.
The sheriff said that they would not enforce it. And so, again,
unconstitutional.
Again, though, you need to pay attention to what's going on in Virginia and more specifically support Red Arrow Weapons. They got to figure out what they're going to do, man. Are they going to pick up and move shop to another state? Or are they going to be there? Either way, they support us in the show, so you definitely should support them, Red Arrow Weapons.
And I love that they're taking a stand. Like when we talked to Kip, he's like, we need to be there, like here, because this is our state.
Fighting against it and things. Anyway, but let's get into another sponsor. Again, we talk about this a lot, but it cannot be stressed enough how valuable our Second Amendment is. It is everyone's right to bear arms, but it is your responsibility to train. So many of you have reached out about your purchase of iTarget Pro. It's amazing. It really is. You know, it sounds weird at first, but once you get it and you practice with it, it'll change your life. So the point of the Second Amendment is to fight governmental tyranny. That's what a lot of people forget. It's not to make cool YouTube videos and things like that. It is to protect you and your family. Not only are people trying to take away your Second Amendment rights, they're trying to prevent you from safely practicing. In Virginia, they're making it to where you can't even practice at a range without being considered a militia. It is crazy what's going on. That's why a product like iTarget is so important. Using their proprietary app and laser bullet, iTarget Pro will allow you to safely practice training with your actual firearm in the convenience and privacy of your own home. That's right. You're going to be able to do what your parents and every other person has told you can't do your entire life. Practice shooting inside the house. iTarget comes in all major calibers, including .223 and .556. This means less driving to the range, less ammo, and less government bureaucrats. Get the 10% off plus free shipping with the offer code GRAHAM. That's Graham, in case you have not figured that out. We still need to fight for our rights, but get iTarget before they try to ban that too. Take your skill to the next level safely and effectively with iTarget Pro. That's the letter I, targetpro.com, offer code Graham. Now, on this birthday episode of Dear America, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, a woman who doesn't really need much introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway, the amazing, the beautiful, the savage, Candace Owens.
Hey!
What's going on, America? And we are so honored to have my good friend, your favorite person in the world, Candace Owens is here. And she's married this time
I
around.
am. Yeah, I'm actually Candace Farmer. If my husband was here, he'd correct you. I still
Candace
go
Farmer.
publicly as Candace Owens, but if he was here, he'd go, no, it's Candace Farmer. It's Candace Farmer.
So is it
right.
Candace Owens Farmer?
It is indeed.
So wait, where are you from originally, though?
America loves farmers. Originally from Connecticut.
Oh, that's why. So is it not a tradition there to drop your middle name?
No, it's not a
so
tradition there.
I'm Alyssa Vincent.
Oh. So you kept your maiden.
Yeah.
And turned it into your middle. That's exactly what I did.
Oh, that is what you did.
Yeah.
Okay, I wonder if
but it's not a
thing,
tradition.
or-
I just did it because I couldn't get rid of Owens. I already bought all the assets.
Yeah.
More of a business thing.
It's kind of a whole business model.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
I've already bought
everyone in the-
CandaceOwens.com.
Everyone in the South
So,
keeps it. Like you have to keep. Your maiden name.
That's good. It's a good
Go
rule.
on.
So
Kinda.
how many months now are we married?
4 months.
And
Yeah, it's
just-
great. I
Still
recommend
gonna keep
it.
him around?
It's underrated. Yeah, I recommend it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, you have, obviously, you've exploded in everything that you're doing. Blexit obviously has become this cultural phenomenon, this worldwide awakening thing. Well, we're super proud of you and excited for you. What's next for Blexit? What's going on there?
We're kind of, we took 2019 as almost our beta year. We were just experimenting, seeing what worked, what didn't work, creating a lot of art. And now 2020, it's about taking everything to the next level. You know, we got our 501c3. We
fantastic.
officially have our charitable status, you know, as an educational program for minorities to really talk about, you know, school choice, talking about conservative principles and how when you take on conservative principles, it can change your life. It can transform your life.
Yeah.
So we are doing our first 5 stops. We've already got Houston, Dallas, North Carolina, Tallahassee.
Gotta invite us to the Dallas one.
Yes,
Yeah,
We're
for
in
come.
Dallas,
For sure.
so-
I think it's on February 25th.
And where are
Double
those
check that.
venues, or where are y'all going into?
We do everything at theaters. So
Okay.
everything that we do is at a theater. We don't have the Dallas one booked yet, but the North Carolina is up first, and that's at the Fillmore in North Carolina. So, and that's even that strategic. We just don't want to have like this sort of, I know right now it's ironic because we're sitting in a hotel conference room, but
Yeah.
we just think that if we're going to be cultural, where would you go see culture, you know?
Right.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
is
a
good.
good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ours are really just concerts of thought. It was what we call a Blexit event, a concert of thought.
That's awesome.
With a lot of really beautiful, moving art that tells the story without us having to hammer you
Love that.
with a bunch of
Oh, I want to
Right.
see it. Yeah, I want to go to the one in
yeah,
Dallas.
it's really wonderful. You guys should definitely come.
Yeah.
Well,
You
we're
could be our
there.
token white people.
That's
Yes.
right. Woo, we're token.
Yeah.
For the first time ever.
That I
we're
would be able
token.
to be that. That was what I've wanted my whole life.
Prayers answered.
Yeah, there you go. Candace
so
is
all
here.
that starts in February.
Yeah.
Okay.
In January 19th is our first one.
Okay.
Oh, that's
well, you
exciting.
have something else gigantic happening in February, right?
I do.
What is that?
Book is
Woo.
coming
Your
out.
book?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Exciting.
Blackout is already. You can buy it now. So
That's such a
don't
good
feel
title.
the name to wait.
Yeah.
Don't feel the need to wait. You can buy it right now. Go Amazon, anything. It's online. SimonandSchuster.com, Barnes and Nobles, and it's going to be a New York Times bestseller. We've got great pre-sales already.
Awesome.
And I'm super excited because it felt like having a child. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
a big process. I'm sure having a child is more difficult. Whatever.
It's like.
Well, it depends.
It depends. It depends.
It depends. Sorry.
So,
can you give us a little backstory?
Yeah, are you
about
able
the
to tell us a
title?
little bit about the
Like, why'd you
book? I
call
mean,
it
other than
Blackout?
the obvious
Absolutely.
kind of.
So it's you know what, a lot of it is autobiographical in content. I wanted to sort of bring people through how I got to my conservative principles.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time I took a very liberal route to conservatism. I'm one of those people that experimented heavily with liberalism and thought it was the answer to everything. But because of my childhood and because of really not liking the person that I was, I realized something was different, that something needed to be changed. And it talks a lot about my grandfather and my upbringing, and he kind of instilled conservative principles in me subliminally. And then when I was ready to embrace them, they were already there. We obviously go in on the subtitle of the book is how Black America can make its second escape from a Democrat plantation. So we go in on how they've established these modern plantations, whether
Right.
it's via abortion, whether it's via the breakdown of the family, how the media, the hip hop artists, they are not our friends but our enemies, the glorification of Hollywood as a form of idolatry. So I really wanted this to be a blueprint for Black Americans and for all Americans to wake up and realize what the left has done expertly and what they've executed via culture.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to read it then.
So I think it's great. I can't wait to read the book. I'd like a signed copy. I
will
don't
get a
know.
signed copy
I don't
in
know
the
if
mail.
that's. I don't know if
And
I've
can you
made the
sign it,
list
token
of
white
people.
guy?
Token white guy.
I don't know if I've made the
Candace.
list of people that
Candace
get
Farmer.
the book, but
Candace Farmer.
I would love that. But so it gets me thinking about some things. So the music industry, celebrities are not our friends and stuff like that. You were around with this whole. I'd like to get your thoughts on Kanye recently. I'd like to. You were. I mean, was his kind of coming out conservative
It was.
kind of deal. Not that you weren't a big deal before then, but that also just thundershot you into everywhere. So you've been around since Kanye first started dealing with, he's a Trump supporter, conservative, things like that. What do you think about Kanye's new Christian thing that's going on.
I love it.
I love it too.
I think it's brilliant,
awesome.
and I think this is the best way for Kanye to make a contribution to the conservative movement is via art.
Yeah.
I mean, he is an artistic visionary. He's an artistic genius.
Yes.
There's no question that he is an artistic genius. And I think when he first got into politics, he was doing a lot of talking. Kanye is not going to be remembered as the greatest orator of our time.
Right.
Correct.
Love him to death.
Shocking,
Think
but
he's amazing, but he's definitely not going to be remembered as that.
We all have
But
our
he will be
gifts.
remembered as one of the greatest artists to
Absolutely agree.
ever walk the face of the planet.
Right.
So now that he's creating art to deliver his ideas, as opposed to just trying to speak them, people are getting them in a way that they
agree.
hadn't got it before. They didn't get
Right.
Kanye's brand of conservatism because people thought, and I spoke about this on stage last night here, people for some reason on the right can be closed off and can be very elitist and can think that conservatives shouldn't do culture or don't do culture or culture
Yeah.
is stupid.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly how you almost lost your country.
But I was going to say,
Especially
that's also how we're
Christian
failing
conservatives.
because
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
Christian conservatives
Can
are
be
very
extremely harsh
similar.
and
The most,
yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of times the most judgmental people in the world are Christians,
Right.
and it's a very unfortunate thing. And what did you think of the initial backlash? Because I know that I spoke out about this when Kanye first came out. You know, I'm a Christian now. I'm born again. My album's going to be about Jesus. I'm going to go into churches and stuff like this. There were all these Christians that came out of the woodwork going, "Whoa." We need to wait and hold course. You know, like they're saying these weird way of speaking because Christians do that a lot too. We need to hold course to see, you know, the true nature of this conversion before we allow
a little bit of that is warranted. You know?
Preaching I can get along with. Yes,
Yeah.
somebody that's a new Christian probably should not just immediately be a preacher, right? But to allow someone that is as known as Kanye West, who has found the love of Jesus, has given his life to the Lord, that is somebody that you should bring into a church and let him tell. You know, let him tell
Well, it's
this
someone
new
you should
life
embrace and
transition,
actually
right?
at least
I
tell
mean,
their
I
story.
don't think Kanye considers himself to be a pastor.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
He
Yeah.
considers himself to be someone who, like anybody else in this world, when you're going through experience, you have the right to talk about it.
And you want to
have the
share it,
right to
especially
sing
when you
about it,
find
have
God.
the right-
Yeah.
You want to share it.
Exactly.
You're excited.
Exactly.
Yeah, that whole
So-
spread the gospel thing, it's kind of
And I'll tell you what,
it's kinda
you're
in
right.
the Bible a lot.
I don't remember a word of what he has, spoken or done a speech, but all my kids are singing Chick-fil-A. Right?
Oh.
So, I mean, he's a genius. But you're right.
Anytime
He's
we're
in
like,
that
do we
vein.
want
It's his
Chick-fil-A?
passion.
Our
So
kids
you're
in the
doing it.
background, Chick-fil-A. every time they think that's the most hilarious thing.
They do.
So let's go back to the book. All right. It's an exhausting process writing a book.
It is.
How long did it take you? Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt.
So I started putting pen to paper last February,
Oh
Okay.
wow.
and
Okay.
we're still editing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's that's why it's like 9 months of like
Yeah.
solid like writing and work and editing, and so that's why I call it a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So you wrote it, and then you send off like your manuscript to the editors and
Yeah,
things.
they have editors and they have a person that's called a book doctor where they
Yeah.
kind of read it and they're just highly critical. That's kind of what
Yeah.
you hire them for, and
Yeah.
it's good. It's a painful process, but it's good because they're preparing you for how you're going to get criticized, or you should have
Oh, that is
expanded more
good.
on this. You didn't know enough about this, so you just kind of go back.
They
and
decide if
forth.
you're going to get sued.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it is a process.
What has it been like for you? Because I know that a lot of us, as we grow up, most people don't ever think that they're going to write a book about their life. So, and most people, when they have experiences, good or bad, we most of the time move on from those experiences, and very few people get to like almost dive back into that emotion and whatever it is. What was it like writing this book for you?
Cathartic, I think would be the right word. It was nice. There's something about writing, and I've always said to people that writing has always been my first love. I majored in journalism and English when I was a child. The first thing I was doing was writing poetry when I was a kid, and books and words have always made sense to me, and I think that that's helped me be an effective communicator about my ideas and my principles because I've always loved words. I see a symphony when I see words.
Right.
And so the process for me, when I put something down on paper, it's released, and it actually, in a bizarre way, it's really mine. So, like, for example, when I lived my life hiding, and I talk about this often when I had anorexia when I was young, when that was a secret, it wasn't really
Right.
mine. I was constantly fear of exposure, right?
Yeah.
But then when you put it out and you put it into the poetry and the music that you want it to be, and you tell that story the way you want to tell it, like I did and I talk about that in my book, now it's really mine.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you
It's
can't
healing.
discover this. It's
Yeah.
mine, right?
Well,
Can't
and
take
you're
it,
going to affect so many people that are also dealing and feeling the same way that you were when you were younger. And so I think that's an amazing thing to put your scars or your past that you've overcome and that you worked through and lived through. I think that's an amazing thing to actually put those points in your life in a book. I think it's because a lot of people would leave stuff like that out.
Right. No, I definitely don't. And I think that I've been one of those people that's been very public about a lot of my life because there's safety and publicity in a weird, bizarre way, especially when you're, in the conservative space and people are constantly looking for things to try to take you down or try to say that this didn't happen. There's safety in being a person that's very public in that regard.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a lot of healing. And I want to encourage other people not to be so afraid in this hostile environment that kids today can't grow up. They can't make a mistake. You put one wrong post and you're permanently branded a racist at 9 years old, right? And that's a really horrible, ugly trend in society that I think is going to lead to a lot of suicides. Kids have to be able to grow up. We have to accept that kids are dumb. They do a lot of dumb
make
things.
Mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to be able to
they
forgive
gotta,
them.
yes, absolutely.
It's a good thing Twitter wasn't around when I was.
Oh,
Right.
my gosh.
I mean, oh my
yeah.
gosh, I was like saved by that. I said a lot of stupid
Which one of
stuff.
us wasn't dumb when we were a kid?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like isn't that the
I
whole
was pretty
point?
awesome as a kid. I was homeschooled.
Isn't that
Didn't
the
get in a
whole
lot of
point of
trouble.
being a kid?
Yeah.
Like you do dumb things.
Just saying.
I watched my son run into a wall, back up, and run right back into
Right
the wall.
again.
I mean, and
He's an angry white male.
Yeah.
angry
That's
white
his child.
male. Yeah,
His
racist,
child.
Angry white male.
supremacist.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with them?
Making.
So, Candace, I've been wanting to pick your brain on this since I saw the report come out. There was a report about a month ago that said Trump is polling at a 34% African-American approval rating right now. And 2 years ago, people were saying if Trump could pull just 15%, he would landslide in 2020.
Right.
Being what you do with Blexit and everything, what are you seeing as far as the African-American community?
I mean, I've been saying this for a while, and that's why I've been hyper-focused on it, because I always knew that it would be the path of least resistance in terms of defeating the left. Go for Black America, because all you have to do is tell us the truth, right?
Yeah.
There's no trickery, there's no politics in it. Just tell Black America the truth.
Lay it out.
You've been lied to, abused, and used to sustain a party that's not helping you in any regard. So I had said, when I first got in here, I was like 20 points in 2020, easy. And everyone thought I was crazy. I mean, really, people were like, it's never going to happen. Might as well focus on the Hispanic community, and I'm like, are you crazy? We just have to communicate the messages culturally and not be dry about it and be more exciting about it. So yeah, that poll came out and everyone said, oh, it's Rasmussen, even though they were the only people that got it right in 2016 about Trump.
Right.
Then Emerson came out, and that's not a right polling group, that's a left polling group.
Right.
And then Marist polling came out with the exact same numbers, and suddenly they realized they're terrified, and they should be terrified. They've been playing a dangerous game, and they really have made a mockery of Black America over the last 60 years. It just took Black America having the courage, a few people, to stand up and say no more and to do it publicly, and now more people are following, and it's beautiful to see.
So let's talk 2020 realistically here. So let's take our Trump hats off and our conservative hats for a minute, and let's talk realistic. Realistically, I see Trump landsliding and not just winning the Electoral College. I see him taking the popular vote.
100%.
This time.
I think so.
Wait,
Especially-
first off, let's be clear. He did win the popular vote in 2016.
Well,
People
not
in
according to
states
Dems.
People in states like California don't vote. That's the whole point, because of the Electoral College.
Right.
If you could win by the popular vote, then the conservatives wouldn't stay home in states like California and New York. I don't know a single one of my conservative friends that live in California, they didn't vote. They were like, there's no point in voting in California.
Because
so
it's
for
not
them
gonna
to
matter.
say that the popular vote was run by Hillary is completely bogus and shows they have no idea how the Constitution works, how our country works, or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, tip for tat, he would have won in 2016 if that was how the race, how the race was won. It wasn't. But I agree with you that in 2016 it's going to be a double win and it's going to be a landslide.
Yeah, I think
the only
so.
person that can actually beat Trump is Trump, right? If he pulls out of the race, if he does something completely, ridiculous, or he's the only person that can defeat Trump.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody else is a joker in the field.
Yeah. I agree. And I've said this for a while. I mean, obviously, every single one of us has to do our jobs, and our jobs are to be the voices right now. Why we've been given that ability and that responsibility, I don't know. God has a plan for everything. But I think that if everybody does their job, everybody goes out and votes, I think Trump landslides this thing.
For sure.
And I think Brexit, the recent vote in the
Oh,
UK.
yeah.
They say
The
when
news,
America sneezes, the UK catches a cold, vice versa.
Yep.
And look what happens.
What are the odds of like a Trump clone happening in
Boris.
the
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
What
it's
is
the
happening?
London version of Trump. It's
But it was
crazy.
exactly that. I mean, they won by a small margin. The Brexit vote won. They said it wasn't real, that the votes didn't count, that everyone who voted that way was racist. They demanded a recount, all of this stuff. I mean, it's literally a mirror image of what's happening in America. And then they finally got to their 2020 effectively, right? They waited the 3.5 long years before they could return to the polls again, and they kicked their butts. And it was really a referendum on the leftists, a referendum on the socialists, a referendum on the people who do not respect the will and the sovereignty of its own people.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
And that is what we're doing in America.
I think it's gonna
I can't
happen.
wait to get to the voting booth.
I
The fact that we
can't
have
either.
to watch
It's
this
gonna be-
absolute shit show.
Yeah,
It is
it's gonna
going to
unfold.
be-
It's
We
gonna be
can't do
epic.
anything. We just have to watch it. We
Yep.
have to watch the Democrats in Congress. We have to watch all these bogus hearings of white supremacy.
So
we have to
true.
watch kids getting assulted for wearing a MAGA hat. And when do we get to actually show up and say something back
And make
to that?
our mark
November
on
8th,
voting day.
2020.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I agree.
I want to watch their faces when they're
Yes.
I
We
want
need
I want a
to
camera
form-
on AOC.
Yes.
You thought there was
I
a-
want a camera on Chuck
You thought there was a
Schumer.
meltdown
I
last
want a
time.
camera on Nancy Pelosi.
I think we're going to take the House
Omar.
back. I think
Just
Trump's
watch
going
him
to
go.
all of it.
I want to watch their faces because I really
I know.
I want
We
her
need to
on
form
TV.
the biggest watch party
Yes.
in the history of the presidential election. Like,
Yeah.
we need to form
A MAGA watch party, like
Yes.
like rent one of these
Yes.
places out
Yeah.
again, like
Just
a
have everybody
MAGA
come
watch
in.
party,
Yeah.
and just, I mean, and then
gonna be
when he
epic.
wins, just party through the night and all this
Confetti
stuff.
guns.
And
Set
can
that
you
up.
imagine all of us broadcasting the whole thing? The entire night, just I think it would be the most amazing. If we don't do something like that, we have failed.
Yeah.
Failed
I want
America.
Their faces.
Yes.
As it
Yes.
comes in. That's
Yep.
all I need.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I wonder if they'll show.
We deserve it. We deserve it. I want Jerry Nadler.
Yeah.
with I will remember you playing in the background and stuff.
Oh,
all right,
man.
So let's move off of 2020 because I think we all are in agreement there. And I've asked a couple people this. 2024. Okay, I've said this for a year and a half now. I'm less concerned about 2020 than I am 2024.
I agree with you.
Who do you think is going to be the person for the Conservative Party in 2024?
I don't know. I don't know what comes after Trump. I mean, I can go through every person that people say, what about this person and that person, and give you my assessment on why not. But I don't know.
Do you
I really
think?
don't know.
Do you agree with some people that the Trump family will be the new Bush family?
No.
And that there will be more Trump
what will
presidents?
happen after down the line? There could be if it's the Bush family, as in there was a break.
Yeah,
between
yeah.
presidencies. Absolutely,
Okay.
I could totally see Don making a run for it down the line, but it won't be in 2024. It shouldn't be. He won't win.
Yeah.
because
Right.
a fatigue will set in.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
what I
Trump
said.
is-
I feel like
Trump is,
yes.
you need Trump right now, but you
Yep.
can't have Trump Jr. right after Trump. It just
Yeah.
won't. It just won't work because a fatigue will set in America. He won't be able to do what his father did.
Right. That's
right.
You'll get people will be tired of the tweets. Tired of it's like, all right, we're in a peaceful spot now. We just need someone
Right.
with a different character. People want to see change. They want to see development. But down the line,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
of course, we're definitely. I think we're going to see the Trumps running again.
Well, speaking of change, do you think 2024 is the year of the first female president?
Who's running?
Well, I have no idea who's
tell me
running.
who-
I like
Nikki.
Nikki Haley.
Well, a lot of people said Nikki Haley.
I don't know. I wouldn't put my money. I could put my money on her running.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she has.
She would have to pick
Like
the
the
perfect VP.
character.
She'd have to pick the
Yeah.
perfect VP
Yeah.
to go.
I mean, the charisma, I think, is the word I'm
Charisma.
looking
Yeah,
for.
there it is.
Right? The qualifications, of course. Has she done stuff that does she care about the country? She loves
Of
the
course,
country.
yeah.
But half of these elections are won on charisma.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially
True.
after Trump.
Oh
Especially
yeah,
after Trump.
especially
Bar
following
pretty high.
Trump.
And let's be real, the left runs very charismatic.
They
Oh,
do.
yeah.
They
Right?
do.
So, I don't
It'd be
know.
tough.
I don't know.
Do you think that the left in 2024 will still go after the anti-Trump candidate?
The left's going after the what do you mean the
I mean,
anti-Trump?
like Trump is very in your face, very brash, tell you what he thinks. Do you think that in 2024 their candidate will be more like a Buttigieg and things like that?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
more that calm
Yeah,
anti-Trump kind of figure.
And by the way, Buttigieg, charismatically, is great. Right?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
I thought he did a
He's a
really
good-
job.
he's a
shutting
good- he's a
down-
good middle ground
big-
kinda guy, yeah.
middle ground. You know, if they're smart, they'll play more in the camp of the Andrew Yangs, the more moderate people, because
Yeah.
after losing in the way that they're going to lose in 2020,
Yep.
they're going to maybe have to do a little bit of retro assessment and realize that something else is going on
Right.
and not the rapid spread of white supremacy.
Yes,
and
yes,
bigotry,
well.
right?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. And that's an interesting thing. One last thing, and I know that you're super busy, and I appreciate you here. impeachment's not going anywhere. Senate's not even going to start if Nancy Pelosi takes it to the Senate at whenever she decides to do that. They're not even going to start trial for it until mid-January. What do you see happening with impeachment? I mean, do you truly see it being like the most nonchalant, anticlimactic thing ever, where the Senate's just like, this is complete garbage, ridiculous. Get it out of here?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's going to be a just crap show?
I hope not.
Well, I think what it's going to be is we're definitely not going to hear the end of it because Trump won't let them hear the end of it.
Yeah.
They literally just handed him his biggest weapon going into 2020.
Yep.
At
You're
every
so
rally,
right.
he's going to be talking about the impeachment
You're
farce.
so
He's
right.
going to say, they tried to take your vote with the impeachment. I mean, sometimes I truly wonder whether or not Trump has the Democrats on payroll.
I know.
I mean, I'm like, how could they have waited this long right before 2020 to hand him a Christmas miracle?
Yeah.
Right?
With
A
an
Christmas miracle.
obvious political agenda vote.
Oh, obvious.
No Democrats said no. Tulsi Gabbard did present, but 99%, and then 100% of Republicans said absolutely
No.
not. That is an obvious political agenda.
Right, and that was our founding fathers' fears. I mean, Alexander Hamilton wrote extensively about what could happen if we started impeaching people based on partisan reasons, and they debated impeachment, whether or not to even include it for a very long time because they foresaw this could potentially happen, and it's happening.
Yeah.
They just impeached someone for no reason.
Right.
I mean, that
Because
is
they don't
just
like
so
him.
counter
Yeah.
to everything that we believe in as Americans, and I think it's a blessing. It's a blessing for Trump, definitively, but it's also a blessing for all conservatives because the more moderate Dems are starting to see it.
Yeah.
People that told me I was crazy for supporting Trump,
Oh,
now
yeah.
they won't say that. They'll just be like, oh, well, I'm a refugee. I don't support the Democrats.
What's his name that
and-
just switched over? To the Republican
Jeff-
Party.
Jeff something.
Something, yeah.
Jeff-
I don't remember
Jeff
that.
something in
Literally,
New
he
Jersey.
just had a
Jeff
meeting
something.
today,
Jeff something,
and I
yeah.
got an email from the White House that said, Trump launches Democrats for Trump.
Right.
No way. Brilliant.
That's awesome.
See, it's-
Brilliant.
They hate him more than they love the country, like
Right.
you
Yeah,
said before,
exactly.
and it's
Yeah.
can't be more true.
Yeah. Well,
So true.
Candace, we know you're super busy. Thank you so much for
And
stopping by.
congratulations again.
Congratulations on
Thank
you so
marriage.
much.
Congratulations on Blexit. And one more time, where can they go find your book?
Well, you guys can find it anywhere, literally Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to simonschuster.com. You can find the book. Go to blexitfoundation.org if you want to support what we're doing in 2020 to educate minorities against leftist indoctrination. And find me on Twitter.
There you
Love
go.
it.
Jake, where can they find you?
Instagram at producer_Jake.
Alyssa?
Alyssa Allen on Instagram.
And of course, I am Graham Allen. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dear America podcast. And we'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Good timing.